I thought while the paint's drying over there, I would clean this trunk up because my new gas tank is here, and it's right, it looks good. I've got the new gas tank and the O-ring that goes around the filler tube, just waiting on the sending unit. But I thought it would be kind of stupid to put the fuel tank in this car with all the rust in the trunk. Probably make more sense to fix the trunk now rather than later. The question is, do I just patch it up? I mean, it's passes the stabby test for the most part. There's a hole there. Yeah, that's good. And then also, if you look down at the frame rail, look at the chunk in the frame rail. We'll be vacuuming that out one way or another. So the question is, do I just go around and start patching holes? Or do I just replace the whole section here? Maybe you can get a new trunk pan for these. I haven't even checked because I don't want to pay the money for it because I know it's probably multiple $100s. So, you know, that's out of the budget. By the way, the trunk drops, you know, from this seam right here over seem to be good. I can't find any notable rust other than surface rust in it. And either side, I've done the stab test on all that. Even the trunk drops that go down below the car look pretty good. So if I were to replace the pan, I would be doing it from that seam all the way to that seam, I guess. And then there's a seam up there. You can see the seam sealer. I don't know if I would go that far. I don't know. Should probably fix that. I also want to smell gas. Not a big deal. Something to think about. The more you look, the more you find. That's not a big deal. That's an easy fix. There's probably more holes like that. I can fix that right up. Get a new trunk gasket for it, so we don't have to choke on exhaust fumes. It's really not terrible. I think the worst of it is along this bottom edge here. Whenever I pull that off, we'll just fix what's in there and clean her up and slap a new trunk gasket on it. I'm not going to do it right now. Whatever. Alright, that's what I've cut out of it. Try to keep it as simple as possible. There's lots of pieces on the floor. More over there. I'm trying to take it out in pieces so that I could keep the floor braces in place, and went pretty smoothly. Lots of cutting and chiseling spot welds. So I'm just going to make a template of the hole and transfer it to sheet metal. I'm going to try to mimic the beads to some extent. We'll see how that turns out and go from there. All right, let's make a template. I got some of Walmart's finest poster board and some masking tape. We're going to cover the hole with poster board, and then we will trace from underneath the car onto the poster board, and that will give us a pretty decent template. All right, the poster board's in. That took all of about 5 minutes. Hole's covered. Let's raise up the car and trace the hole. All right, now we just need to do some tracing. You can see we got a little crevice over here. Didn't really think that through. We just have to do some play connect the dots on some of this. But there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and trace the floor braces into the template too. That way I can locate them on the sheet metal, just to keep my bearings. It's also be kind of a guide to where the beads will be, because they do work around these floor braces. pencil might be a good idea. So I can get in these tight areas. So I can get a pretty general idea. I can connect the dots, you know what I mean? Let's see, we got way back up in here. You can see that. You gotta, yeah, I need a pencil. Get as much as I can with this, and then I'll get back with a pencil. And get more of it. You know, the more time you spend on these patterns, the better your piece is gonna fit. So we'll get this cut out, we'll place it back in the hole, and I'm sure there'll be areas that don't exactly fit, and we'll just build those back with masking tape. Don't mind the strange lighting. That's what I got. Yeah, I'll get through here. It just barely gets it right there, doesn't it? Just barely. And my marker kind of wants to dry up. Let's get her done though. Getting her done. Oh, I don't need to do that, do I? Yeah, that's irrelevant. Because the floor pan goes over that. So I don't want to make a mistake and cut here, because then it's going to be short. This pan extends over the frame rail over to here. You know, our little to here. I should have cut this back a little bit further, that way I got more room to work over here. But it's okay. It's okay. You get her done. Let me find the pencil. Well, what I ended up doing was taking a pen apart. It's nice and small and bendy, and you can get it in all those nice tight spaces. This worked out pretty good, especially like inside here. I got this little piece of real estate that I can't really get, but I was able to get that in there. And also up next to the frame rail, when I want to angle it this way, I can just bend it and get a line in there. Yeah. So that's what I've done. I went around and marked everything the best I can. We'll take it out, cut the template out, put it back in the hole and see how good or bad it fits, and then we'll fine tune it from there. And then we can slap that onto some sheet metal, trace it out, cut it out of sheet metal, and see how bad that fits. Okay, I can work with that. Couple areas we'll just have to connect the dots, because there was part of the floor pan in the way that I couldn't trace through. Here, here, there, there, and there. But it's just straight lines. I'll just take a straight edge and lay those in there. Connect the dots. Alrighty, she's laying in there, and it's a pretty decent fit. Pretty decent. It needs a little bit of fine tuning. That's a pretty good fit right here. So what we'll do is we'll tape the template back into the car so that it doesn't move around. That'll give us a chance to go around and fine tune any fitment issues. Also right here, where you have this shape in the floor pan, it's going to require a little bit of stretching right here on the patch panel. I might be able to just do that as I put it in and just kind of hammer it in place, because it's not going to need a whole lot. I I mean, you can see the shape that it used to have right here. You know, you got a corner piece in here, and it comes all the way down to here. The shape does. So it would come all the way down to here. I guess that would be ideal to make it like it was. We'll see what happens. If anything, I can make a cut and weld in a triangular piece to get that shape back. That would be the unskilled way of doing it, and that's fine. Okay, we're more or less taped back in the car now. Fitment's still pretty good. A couple of issues up there I need to add on to. Along that gap, I'll put some more tape on the backside and trace it out. I've got a little bit of overlap over here, and I guess my brain wasn't working. I should have done it this way from the start, but what you can do is you can just come in here and take an object, your finger, and just rub along that edge, and it'll mark the paper. I could have done the whole thing that way, but my brain wasn't working. Anyway, we'll use that method to fine-tune this shape here. Okay, we're good right there. Up to this point. It might be doing something. I don't know. And that's my finger. How about that? Some good video in there. All right, there's our template laid out on some sheet metal. I have already traced it. I went ahead and put the line for this cut in here. Whether or not I make that cut, we'll decide later. I'm not going to cut it initially. We may try to stretch that into the panel. That's about it. Let's cut her out. Well, there it is with no shape in it. Just flat laying in the floor over the hole, and it already looks better. We're gonna try to put some shape in it and roll some beads in it, and we'll see what happens. Well, it's supper time. We've made some progress. I gotta go fire up the grill. I'm hungry. Everybody else is hungry. So it's gonna be another day. We're making progress. All right, here's our piece of sheet metal that we cut out a while back. Using a blue Sharpie because that's the color I've got. Between these marks where I have the X's, no beads can be there because it has to sit on top of these floor braces so I can weld them down. If there's beads, it's not going to sit flat on this. It's going to be hard to weld them down. The factory pan had beads running this way, and there's a bunch of them in between each of these. 9 million of them. That's a lot of stopping and starting, and I don't really want to do all that. So I'm going to run some beads lengthways, a few between each of these, and we're going to call it good. So let's lay them out and roll them up. All right. Just using just a plain old bead here. Got too much junk. Too much junk. This is kind of a big piece. Probably gonna run into the door. Yes, making a nice bead. Door's out of the way. Still ran into the door. But we just made it. All right, we're just gonna do that 7 more times. Won't bore you with that. All right, I got the beads rolled in it. Hit that in the slip roll a little bit and rolled it up. It's getting a little bit of a better fit. And if you ever have trouble staying on your lines on a bead roller, just get rid of the lines and nobody will ever know. Hey, okay. But that's good. That's going to be acceptable. That'll be better than rust. So I'm going to keep tweaking and fitting it. Maybe we can start welding. All right, it's all in place and tacked in, and it isn't terrible. Of course, I'm going to go through and fully weld it in. And I'm sure it's going to look a lot better once I shut the trunk lid. So we're good. We're golden. Well, about a month has passed, but the trunk floor is now finally welded in, and it's ready for some paint. And that's good enough. That'll serve the purpose. Keep the stuff in the trunk and the exhaust out of the trunk. So we're good. And if you think it looks good now, check this out. Beautiful. I wanted to show you the underside of the trunk floor, but there's a gas tank in the way. Yes, I installed the gas tank and I didn't video any of it. Sorry. But it's pretty basic. Straps hold it in, fuel lines. I made new vent tubes that go up into the trunk floor. They were rusted out. So that's a good thing. I did, by the way, paint the underside of the trunk floor before I put the gas tank in it. So there you go. You know, what garage is complete without a refrigerator? Thanks to my buddy JM, I got one now. So I don't have to go all the way up to the house for a frosty snack. Yeah. Nice and cold. Thank you, JM. And as always, thanks for watching. Come back and see me sometime. Go do something, okay? As for me, it's quitting time. It's like 7 o'clock. Had enough, worked all day. Came in here to work some more. So I'm done. Y'all have a good one.